What's going on, Deadites? It's your boy, Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel. I'm not feeling very good today. I'm kind of having the pukes. I think it's just the residual effects that stuff still in my lungs from being sick the last couple of weeks. So things have not gone the way I wanted to today, but videos are coming, and this is the first one. We do have a SmackDown review coming up real soon, as well as some other special surprises. So even though that I and Jeff Huffman will not be able to do a SmackDown review together, I am going to make up for it with a fantastic day of videos, and we're going to start right here because breaking news in the NFL, and of course since it pertains directly to my team, the Chicago Bears, I have to do a video on it even though I feel like dog hell. Brandon Marshall will be traded to the New York Jets. This is not a surprising move. I don't think that anyone should be truly shocked and awed by this. Maybe the destination, but I think the Jets, historically, they're kind of willing to make bolder moves and maybe give up a little bit more. Most people are thinking it's going to be a mid to late round pick. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being like a 4 and 5 or even a 5 and 6. That would not surprise me at all. It could be as high as a third rounder, but that would be a little shocking, to be completely honest. This is not a shocking move. Brandon Marshall needed to go for many reasons. One, his production was down last year. Two, he'll be 31 years old at the start of the season. Three, he is a locker room problem, and that once strong relationship between him and Jay Cutler has clearly fractured over the course of this previous season that was just abysmal on so many levels. This needed to happen because there's a new coach in town. This is not Mark Trestman. This is John Fox, a no-nonsense type of friggin' coach who's going to do it his way, and he's going to assemble his team. You know, there's new GM, there's new management all throughout the team. You know, and that's fine. That's great, and it's what we needed. This is a smart move, long-term and short-term. We got a guy who is very similar to Brandon Marshall, who's only, 25 years old, and that's Alshon Jeffrey. They needed to break up the diversity, and if you look at the free agent pool, there are a lot of receivers out there that are going to be good complementary guys to Alshon Jeffrey. And there's another kid that we have on the roster right now, Marquise Wilson. If he can get healthy and he can be the type of kid that a lot of people are assuming him to be, he's a natural guy to fit right in there. So I don't think that this is going to hurt the offensive production very substantially, because if we're just going from year to year, Marshall's numbers were not great last year anyway. Yeah, being limited to 13 games, barely having 800 yards. Yes, he had 8 touchdowns because he is a threat in the red zone. But when you have a guy like Matt Forte, who I also believe is no lock to stay on this team, by the way, I would not be shocked if he gets traded now. Because, honestly, with his age and his contract, it kind of makes sense to move him if you're trying to develop a different team. But the point is, if he is on a team, you have him and Bennett and Jeffrey, so you have red zone threats that make you unique to other teams. Now, what this also does is put a greater point of emphasis on the quarterback situation. Are they going to try and trade Jay Cutler? I think they're going to try. I don't know if they're going to succeed. Now, it's possible that there's going to be a team that will be desperate enough to take him. The Bears are going to have to cover some of this cap. They're not going to get anybody to take his entire contract. That's just not going to happen. But it'll be interesting to see if they're able to make something happen with Jay Cutler. I'd like to see them do something with him, but we'll see what happens. As far as replacing the production that Marshall has, I think you'll be able to do it within free agency or a very loaded wide receiver draft. There's a lot of wide receivers in this draft that are going to be available to the Bears at 7. I would be surprised if the Bears stay at 7 at this point. I think they're going to trade out of this spot if the right deal comes along to try and help expedite this rebuild. I don't think this is ever going to be planned as a long-term rebuild. Yes, some more moves will be made. I don't think there's any question about that. But this is not a long-term rebuild plan. This is an overhaul. I think that's important to understand the difference. This is an overhaul. They're going to look to remain as competitive as they can while making changes to fit what John Fox wants to do. They're going to a 3-4 defense. A huge change, but I think they have the personnel already in place that kind of fits better to that anyway. And honestly, probably 60% of the defense is going to be new going into the season. The entire secondary can be different. The entire secondary might be completely different from opening day last year to opening day this year. It's just completely different. The linebackers are going to be very different. Bostic might be in there, but he might be the only guy. I don't know if J.D. Williams is going to be back. We know that Briggs is not going to be back. It's very interesting to see what they're going to do there. Shea McClellan, I don't think he's done enough to earn a starting nod guaranteed. Defensive line, they got a lot of rotational players, but look for some of these guys to go. Jared Allen, who was a big disappointment last year, he's stuck. He'll be here regardless, and he's someone on the edge. But, you have Willie Young. You have a couple guys on the interior, a guy like Stephen Paya, but he's probably going to be gone because I believe he's a restricted free agent. So it's just a very interesting situation on what the Bears are going to want to do and how they're going to want to overhaul this team. This is a big step in that direction, and hopefully they're going to get enough for Marshall to make this a decent trade. Look, we got a lot out of Marshall. Marshall reestablished his value up until last year when he got hurt and couldn't produce. This was a good marriage for the Bears. It worked. They didn't have to give up a whole hell of a lot for him. And he got us close. He was very, very good player for the Bears, and I loved having Brandon Marshall here. And something else that he brought to the team was his work ethic. Say what you want about he might be questionable as far as some of the things he says and does because of his mental disorders, but the guy is a workout fiend. He is a gym rat, and he taught Alshon Jeffrey how to be an elite body type NFL receiver, and that is worth its weight in gold. It really is. So I think this is a good move for the Bears. I'm not sure if it's a great move for the Jets because we don't know how tolerant Brandon Marshall is going to be of that quarterback situation in New York, especially if it's going to be Geno Smith going forward, and how Brandon Marshall and his well-documented mental disorders is going to do in a town like New York. It's not the same as Chicago. It's not the same. They are going to come at him. And how he responds is going to be very interesting. Especially, we don't know how Brandon Marshall is going to deal with the aging factor that he has. The guy is getting older. How is he going to respond to his body starting to fail him? We have no idea. He has not reacted well to regular problems. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to a problem like this. It's going to be very interesting. So I like this move. Tell me what you guys think. Hit me up in the comment section below and tell me if you like what the Bears did. Also, other small little things. Reggie Wayne has been let go by the Colts. He's been informed you will not be re-signed by the Colts. So Reggie Wayne, one of the greatest receivers in the history of that franchise, him and Marvin Harrison, the top two, gone. Also, Maurice Jones-Drew retires after only 9 seasons in the NFL. Short but sweet career. Short but sweet. Very reckless style. His body could not hold up to it. He was too small to run the way he did, but he didn't care. In 9 seasons, he pays the price. Vince Wilfork, gone. Free agent now as the Patriots decide not to pick him up. This is not a big deal. This is just Bill Belichick. It's how he does business. Next man up. Wilfork was great. He'll find somebody else. He will land on his feet. I don't think there's a question about that. So all kinds of interesting things happening within the NFL today with the new NFL season about to happen. You know, the new league year, which is on Tuesday at 4 p.m. So, and this deal with Marshall, by the way, does rely on him passing a physical, which I don't think will be a problem. So tell me what you guys think. Thanks for joining me here with this breaking news. And make sure you're keeping an eye on the channel because we got a lot of videos coming at you today. Should be a lot of excitement, wrestling, sports, and maybe some others. We'll catch you a bit later right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Please like, subscribe, and share. Peace.